though they win.
4, but not
No,
5.
no, the whining about the officiating is embarrassing. I don't know if it's more embarrassing than the whole team being teary-eyed after a divisional round loss on the road, but it's pretty embarrassing. And it is par for the course. The Bills can't take playoff losses. Lose the 13-second game, change the rules, NFL, and they did. Last year, we got those first downs on the tush push. We did.
That's right.
We got those first downs. I've watched it. I know. I cross my heart and hope to die. We got those. And this one, an odd but obvious interception is what else could it have been? It certainly wasn't a catch, and it certainly wasn't an incompletion. It was an interception. But they did all that because they were hurt and they were wounded. And the only person who got why the game went the way it did was Josh Allen, who Josh Allen has more comfort and more ability in putting the blame on Josh Allen than seemingly anybody in the media who claims to love Josh Allen. They lost that game because their superhero quarterback, who I thought was going to win, who I have believed in all year long, who I was wrong, Wilds was right, that the plan of don't worry about the turnovers, make superhero plays would blow up on him. You were right. He 4 separate times, even if you remove one of the fumbles and that pick, lost them the game. And it's in sequence. We'll show it in sequence. The fumble before the end of the first half is as bad of a fumble as you will ever see from a veteran quarterback. And I got to listen to experts this morning giving more flack to the lineman for not falling on it than Josh for fumbling it. That's the end of the first.
That's actually true? Wow. Somebody said that?
That's the end of the first half. Then, in the midst of the comeback, after Bo makes, and Bo played great. You said it earlier, Brew, he was the best quarterback of the weekend.
Absolutely.
Credit to him. Josh does this. Now, is that a great defensive play? Sure. Do you need to make this throw when you're on the cusp of field goal range? Certainly in Mile High, you might already be in field goal range. Of course not. And then 2 times had the throw to win the game. Do I think he would have scored a touchdown here if he would have caught it? Well, I don't know. He scored a touchdown. But he hops it to him.
Yep.
That's to go up 8 points. And it's a very rare incompletion that we know what would have happened if it would have been a completion. And then this one, again, that would have been a great throw. But I've been beat over the head for 3 months that he's the most talented quarterback in the history of the league.
Okay, you want to talk about bias. You want to talk about, like, extreme and wanting to, like, celebrate someone's loss more to the point where you're going to make fun of players for being emotional and crying like that. You know what's embarrassing? That take that you're making fun of players for being sad and emotional, that they came up short for something that they worked so hard at. That's bizarre. That's bizarre. And the fact that you want to lock in right now to some of the bad plays as this is all the reason why they lost is so insane and is so incorrect for so many different reasons. And I don't even know where to begin right now because there's so many different points that I want to drive home. And the first point, though, that I want to say is that Josh Allen needed to play better. Josh Allen absolutely needed to play better. No question about it. Josh Allen needed to play better. But first off, whether you agree or disagree is irrelevant because to pretend like other people could feel frustrated about the interception or not interception, to pretend that it's just the Bills being sore losers is nonsense. When Ryan Clark himself said it was an interception or said that it was a catch, Richard Sherman said that it was a catch. Dan Orlovsky said it was a catch. And again, it's not to say that those guys are right and everyone else is wrong. The point that I'm trying to drive home is that you have actual, especially Hall of Fame defensive players that are like, that should have been ruled a catch. I've never seen anything like that before. And now you're also going to have the audacity, like they changed the rules. They changed the rules for the Bills. They changed the rules because they know it's insane to not give the other team the ball in the playoffs. And you know that. You know that. but you want to just hate on the Bills so much for little extra points. You know that. And yet you want to pretend like it's not. And yeah, the Bills did get that first out. They talked about it on the broadcast. They literally talked about it. It was as clear as day. And so again, you're acting like it's crazy that anyone's frustrated about something like this when Nick had a whole meltdown and took it upon himself to slow down frame by frame, nanocon by nanocon, if the Philadelphia Eagles are doing a false start on the tush push and was like this, look what Troy Aikman said Troy Aikman, and look what Tom Brady had. You want to talk about that? So stop trying to pretend like this is somehow unique to the Buffalo Bills or something, because it's not. And now that you want to zoom into some errant throws by Josh Allen, and it's like, I saw Matthew Stafford inaccurate all night. All night we see quarterbacks miss throws all night. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, whoever, but in the moments that mattered most, once they make those plays, if they make those plays, then all is forgiven. And on that game-winning drive, Josh Allen delivered. Josh Allen delivered. If Harbin catches that ball, if Cooks catches that ball, you win the game. It's that simple. And so the two biggest mistakes that Josh Allen made was the one interception, which, guys, I got news for you. Even the king, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, etc., threw interceptions. We've seen it. I don't know if you guys know this. Quarterbacks throw interceptions and the fumble. They ask Josh to press again and again and again. You want to say you blame people or blaming the linemen for not jumping on the ball. Matthew Stafford got lit up and fumbled, but he didn't suffer the consequences for it because his team jumped on the ball. Would you have blamed Matthew Stafford had 2 fumbles and could have had like 5 interceptions, but they went his way in the positive. Drake May had a bunch of fumbles, a bunch of them very fortunate enough to be recovered. So yeah, when the team around you elevates and helps you out in that moment, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And I don't think I blame coaching more for that moment, because yeah, Josh Allen is doing everything he can to try to give his team a chance to get those extra yards and to get out of bounds and try to give a chance. And truthfully, Sean McDermott should have just said, take a knee. We're going into halftime. There's not enough time. There's nothing we can do. There's no timeouts, no nothing, which is exactly what Sean McVay did with Matthew Stafford going into overtime, and they had 2 timeouts. But the actual great coach who actually knows how to manage a game is like, no. And yet, even when the Rams were still in field goal range, Matthew Stafford was still throwing balls that could have been intercepted. And they were just lucky enough that it didn't happen. And one team wins, one team is the hero. And this one, Josh Allen loses, and now it's like, let's just stack on him. But I mean, you had the interception, you had that fumble, the other fumble. Again, as Romo pointed out, Shakir literally does the wrong thing. That literally allows that defender now to light up Josh Allen and then causes that fumble. That's not Josh Allen's fault. His running back, Cook, fumbling the ball is not Josh Allen's fault. Hardman dropping the ball is not Josh Allen's fault. Go through all the other receivers dropping passes, not his fault. But then you want to focus on a throw that he skipped and a missed throw and another part. It's like, dude, that happens lots of times throughout the course of a game. Every single quarterback is going to miss some throws. It's just going to happen. And that's not Josh Allen's norm. If that was Josh Allen's norm, then we could have a conversation about it. That's not his norm. But the man, in an imperfect game where he needed to play better, still had like 350 yards, threw the ball, like 40 times. He rushed for 66 yards and had 3 touchdowns and put his team in a position to kick the game-ending touchdown field goal. Kick the touch up when his main weapons out here are, he's thrown to Cooks and Hardman, 2 players who he hasn't even played a total of 6 games together with. He's thrown the ball a total of like 12 times to them combined. And yet in key moments in overtime, on a game-winning drive in overtime, that's the number who they're calling. If you can't understand the weight and the pressure of that, I don't know what to tell you. I really, really don't. That the most important play of the game for them. They throw this deep jump ball to Brandon Cooks. What did Sean McVay do in that moment? Dialed up a perfect play for a nice, easy 4-yard pass that then turned into like 8 or whatever to Puka Nacua, who was wide open and converted that first down in overtime. That's the difference. That is the difference. This is the catch that Davante Adams is making in overtime, where Hardman can't catch a ball and can't run a route that's wide open and hitting him in the hands. This play right here. Difference between winning and losing. Okay, 3rd and 6. A crucial part of this game in overtime. 17-17 calls timeout, gets everything set up, and here you are. A wide open Puka Nacua. He actually had multiple options here, but gets a wide open Puka Nacua for the first down, and move the chains. There you go. What do they ask Josh Allen to do? They asked Josh Allen to throw the ball 50 yards down the field to a receiver that he has no connection with, to a 32-year-old Brandon Cooks that he hasn't let it rip. That's the play that they dial up in the most crucial moment of this game. He's throwing a 50-50 jump ball to Brandon Cooks that he has to throw the ball 50 yards down the field. That's what the Buffalo Bills are asking Josh Allen to do. And this is what Sean McVay asked Matthew Stafford to do. Throw to a wide open little 6-yard throw to his number 1 short-handed receiver Puka Nacua for a first down. That is the difference. That is the difference in a game that Collinsworth himself said, "I've never seen Matthew Stafford miss so many throws." And I guarantee you that if Caleb Williams doesn't throw that interception and they kick the field goal and win the game, you wouldn't have gone through all the missed throws that Matthew Stafford made. That's the point that I'm trying to drive home here. And if you can't see that, I don't know what you want. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to just keep disagreeing because you can't, you're too blinded by this idea that I'm coming from a place of bias or something. That's on you, man. That's on you. Because I'm literally saying that Josh Allen needed to play better, that he needed to play better. But when you actually look at how these games unfolded, and this is what Richard Sherman himself said, someone brought up, yeah, but what about the fumble and the miss this and the miss that? And Richard Sherman replied, we don't need to argue it. They overcame all of that and had the lead in the second half. If Cooks catches this, they win. Period. That's the point that I'm trying to drive home, that even despite all of the craziness that happened, Josh Allen was putting them in a position to win the game with the absolute weight on his shoulders. So, you can talk about all the mistakes he made. You can talk about all the things, that he choked, that he did this, that he did that. How dare anyone say that Josh Allen is amazing? And I'm just saying, it's so weak to use the team being emotional and crying as a talking point, as that it's embarrassing, or that you now want to highlight every errant throw in a game where then Josh Allen made massive plays. If Josh Allen didn't make those massive plays, then for sure. But again, if you can't see the difference, between what happened with Stafford and what happened with Josh Allen, I don't know what to tell you. In the most pivotal moments, one team rises to the occasion and the other one didn't. And to put that square on the shoulders of Josh Allen is just fundamentally incorrect. So again, you can cry bias all you want. You can cry fandom all you want. Doesn't change the fact. And that's why I'm purposely using other people like a Richard Sherman or Ryan Clark, who I don't always even inherently agree with, who I know don't even give favorable commentary on the job. Like Ryan Clark is not favorable on the Josh Allen of the NFL. He's just not. And yet, he was like, oh, that was a catch. And so again, the argument is that it is or it isn't, because I'm done kind of having that back and forth. But my whole thing is to pretend like having this other take or this other perspective is born out of fandom or lack of football knowledge is insane. Like when I shared my one take about the Bills, the comment sections, the majority of the comments were just directed towards me, not about the actual game itself. And a lot of them were just like, see, you're just exposed as you don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. You're biased. You're an idiot. This, that, and third. And it's just like, if I hold the same view of a Richard Sherman, is he biased? Does he not know football? So again, you can disagree with the take. The disagreeing of the take makes perfect sense. That's how sports works. That's why sports are amazing, because we can all have disagreements. But if the reason why you think the take is wrong, or why you think I'm wrong, is based off of lack of knowledge or bias or clown or this or that, that's where it doesn't hold up to scrutiny. But if you're going to use the emotional side of football here, where we're seeing these players crying, being so sad, so emotional, and we're going to say that that's embarrassing, or that we're going to now go through every other little play that a Josh Allen made or didn't make and just say, aha, this is why they lost, and then not circle around, drop passes, fumbles from other players. I mean, that's absurd. I mean, that's absurd. We can look at, again, and I'll end here just to trigger everyone. Patrick Mahomes throws multiple interceptions in the Super Bowl against the 49ers, but then gets to be the hero because the team around him was able to come up big and make the plays. Josh Allen was robbed of that moment. He was robbed of that moment. Plain and simple. I'm not even saying from the officiating. I'm just saying from the experience, whether it's team coaching, whatever, and the whole, well, that was a Super Bowl, this is a division round. It doesn't matter because we're just talking about an individual football game and how an individual game is won or lost in this comeback win. In this comeback win, it's 3rd and 15. Look where Patrick Mahomes is. He's got to let this rip a million miles down the field. Guess who he throws to? Guess how open he is. Look how wide open he is. It doesn't get any easier than that. They then get a prayer ball that Mahomes throws to Kelsey that gets a pass interference call, and then now it's 1st and goal from the 1 and has a wide open player. And this is the same game where Patrick Mahomes fumbles this ball being reckless, just lucky enough. Look at all the 49ers around there that the ball just gets fumbled out of bounds. Otherwise, they fumble here and they don't score. I mean, it's 13-10 in this Super Bowl, 2nd and 5. What happens? Stripped, but able to recover. It could have been 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and would have said Patrick Mahomes is why they lost. He just wasn't good enough, etc., etc. This is the point that I'm trying to drive home. This is the point that I'm trying to drive home. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. I'm sure you guys are going to understand what I was trying to say here, and not misconstrue and purposely say what I'm not saying. But let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.